Hi, I'm Katie Ziskind, the practice owner of Wisdom Within Counseling here in Niantic, Connecticut, where we specialize in using holistic creative therapies to help anxious children, teens, and young adults. In this video, I'm here to talk with you all about holistic therapies, what they are, how they work, and why they are so needed for reaching an anxious child or depressed teenager. Holistic therapies combine Eastern and Western medicine. So I have a yoga therapy background, and so I combine yoga therapy, creative art therapies, along with outdoor sessions to teach positive coping skills so that a teen can process anxiety, frustration, and anger in healthy ways rather than negative ways, such as vaping, drinking, or even just walking out of class frustrated. And we combine talk counseling, which is what's very traditional when you think of therapy. You sit down on a couch and you just talk about your feelings. We combine talk counseling with these creative holistic therapies because a lot of times children might not want to talk about it, or a teenager might even refuse to talk as a sense of power and control because they feel so powerless going through a parent's divorce or a big move, going through big life transitions and changes. So we allow teens who don't want to talk to come to session and offer unique and different ways of expressing tough emotions. Hi, Christopher. Thanks for jumping in. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them below and I'll answer them in this video for you. So when a child comes into therapy here, we use different unique methods, such as a feeling cat, where your child can put different emotions inside of the pouch. And a reason why, let's say, a child doesn't want to sleep in their own bed, or a child is kicking their friends instead of being socially appropriate, or a child might be crying a lot more than normal is because they're having feelings. Hi, Rebecca. And these feelings are really overwhelming to a child when they don't know what they are. So we teach emotional regulation. So a child can learn how to feel loved, can learn how to express and share when they're feeling happy. This is a good one. It's jealous. And a lot of times children feel jealous, but they don't have a word for that feeling. So we talk about what jealous means and how to even know you're feeling jealous. And oftentimes children feel a sense of peace and calm and balance within themselves when now they know what word goes for that feeling within them. And that can also help your whole family communicate and function better when your child has a safe place to express and release these feelings in a multitude of ways, not just through talking, but play, art, yoga and movement, sounds, going outside, being able to try on these different feelings. And when we work with depressed, distant teens, teens need a really unique, specialized type of therapy. If your teen is really struggling and you've tried traditional talk counseling before and it just didn't work, we might be the best, we might be the answer to your issue. We might be the best thing that's come your way because teens that feel frustrated at school, that are being told to talk or told to turn in homework and are feeling a lot of pressure, feeling they aren't good enough or aren't smart enough, or might not feel like they have friends that like them, or everyone else is dating and your teenager is like feeling like the oddball, not having a partner, not having friends to text. So we help teach your teenager how to create meaningful relationships, how to get out there and be social. And therapy is a way to boost your teen's self-confidence for lifelong wellness in mind, body, and spirit. So all the things that your distant teenager learns in session will help him or her reconnect with themselves. Because from self-connection, from being able to feel feelings fully, being vulnerable, being able to vocalize and share through the art, yoga, music, and walking sessions by the beach, your teen can have a safe place to know that all feelings are okay. And that it's okay to talk about these things and let them out with a professional outside of your family system. Because often teens will shy away from talking about dating with mom or dad, or dad and dad, or mom and mom, and teens need a mental health professional, a therapist that is all to themselves, that's their person in the world. And I always like to say that therapy is a positive coping skill. rock stars, musicians, movie stars all have therapists because that's what makes them so successful. So if your teen is reluctant to go to therapy, you can let them know that the most successful movie stars all have therapists because that's how you take care of your mind, body, and your spirit. Also, for holistic therapy for young adults, if you are, struggling with loss from something 5 years ago, you went through a really big life transition, or you're trying to figure out how to date or take your romantic relationship to the next level in terms of intimacy, attachment, bonding, and connection, you can do yoga therapy for couples. And this incorporates breathing together, healing touch, feeling that warmth and gentle touch of your partner can increase intimacy and connection, so that next time when you do have a misunderstanding or argument, you won't be as aggressive, and you'll be much more calm because you'll have these positive coping skills from yoga therapy to call on, which will allow you and your partner to experience relaxation together and overall communicate better together, so you can have a deeper connection. So we do a lot of really unique, different, specialized holistic therapies here at Wisdom Within Counseling in Niantic. Movement therapy such as yoga or outdoor sessions by the beach allow children with ADHD to feel strong and confident rather than a problem needing to be fixed. They embrace your child's unique differences and their strengths. In addition, while your child's using play, art, or yoga, your child's therapist will be assessing for areas of growth, such as if they have anxiety as a trigger, what triggers their anxiety, or if frustration is a trigger, or if being a perfectionist is a trigger. We start to assess those areas of growth. And then we do monthly parent check-in sessions, which are called parent-onlys. It's like a parent-teacher conference where your child's therapist will meet with just you, adult to adult. It will help them understand about your child's journey and what's going on at home, and also update you with treatment goals, progress, and take the next step to create school accommodations as needed. I'm Katie Ziskind, the practice owner of Wisdom Within Counseling here in Niantic, Connecticut. Right on the shoreline, we have the nice walk and talk sessions by the beach, smelling that salty ocean air, the beautiful sunshine today. It's a beautiful sunny day. I actually took a couple children outside today, and we did some talking while throwing the frisbee around in the sun. So they're getting vitamin D, boosting depression management skills. They're also learning about movement, how to get away from those video games and create a personal connection, building those social skills, to read body language, to understand facial expressions, and to also learn about personal space in an outdoor environment, inside and outside voices, and how to just overall enjoy life through play and building coping skills. It was just so much fun. I also personally did another yoga therapy session today with a young woman who is so ambitious. She is so powerful and courageous. And we did some poses, we did mindful breathing, guided relaxation for relaxation and stress reduction. Hi, Becky. Thanks for jumping in. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll answer them in this video. And so we did hip openers, which allowed for those deep tissues, the memories held within the hips, to get processed and released in a mind, body, spirit connected way. So typically, if you've been through loss or grief, your therapist might just ask you to talk about that moment. But that can be helpful. However, if you've been through a really big experience, it's stored within your body. So oftentimes people will come in because they've gained too much weight or lost too much weight or have trouble eating. And really the root of eating issues is trauma. It's going through a really tough experience and you turn to food at that time. And that was the best you could do. You were good enough in that moment. So now you want to restore balance. So yoga therapy can be exactly what you've been needing for peacefulness in terms of your body, but also your mind and for spiritual connection. And guided meditations can be a wonderful way to reduce anxiety, to manage depression, and to learn how to tackle your inner critic with positive self-talk. These are all skills that you can use in your entire life outside of therapy. If you're thinking about a loved one, a child, teen, or young adult who's struggling with anxiety, they can use these positive coping skills into college years and beyond. I'm Katie Ziskind, the practice owner of Wisdom Within Counseling here in Niantic, Connecticut, where we specialize in holistic creative therapies, helping anxious children, depressed teenagers, and distant young adults create a meaningful connection in terms of friendships and help families function better together. Also, we're known to work with parents, and we can be seen helping parents understand their child's disruptive behavior, and also advocating for your child or teen, implementing school accommodations for academic success. If you're looking to learn more about our unique and different holistic therapies, call 860-451-9364. If you're looking to read more, we have blog articles, parenting tips, and information about all of our specialized services at wisdomwithinct.com. And to end this video, I wanted to end with a very short story about how I started the practice. I think short stories are so fun. Whenever I read a book, I always love it when they add in anecdotes and stories. So when I graduated graduate school years ago, I worked with recovering addicts and alcoholics and substance abuse. And I took the first position that I found, and I eventually began working with men in a rehab. So a 90-day rehab. They were living on a campus, a sober living environment. And I realized that talk therapy was not working for them. These men had been through severe trauma, abuse, loss, death, and now here they are. They've been binge drinking and doing drugs, and now they're sober. So that means all of these tough feelings are coming up. Talking, asking them, why are you so angry, isn't gonna work. I quickly learned that within 5 minutes. So I knew I had hope, I knew they were resilient, and I told them I believed in them. And I said, I'm gonna organize something really great for you guys. So I contacted local farms, specifically High Hopes and Maple Leaf Dairy in Hebron, were two farms that we worked with. And I learned how to drive a 16-person white van through the hills of Lebanon and drove these 12 angry men to animal therapy groups. So I drove them off-site, and we first started with High Hopes, where they awarded us a scholarship for them. And we had two horses, one brown horse named Jazz and a white horse. And these men petted the horses. They were so enthralled. They were so engaged in therapy. I saw a whole different side of them. They weren't angry anymore. They weren't refusing to talk. They weren't crossing their arms and glaring at me. Instead, they were looking at me as if I had just given them a gift of life, that they were now hopeful. They had pet this horse and seen this majestic horse, and the trainer there had talked about how veterans who were with PTSD did horse equine therapy too, to help them feel comfortable. And these men were just open vessels. Their heart was open again. And one of them even ended up sharing a story about deep loss, about how their family dog was put down, and the horse was just so calming, and he was crying in the horse's fur. And this is why unique experiential holistic therapies are so powerful, is because they go beyond talk counseling. So I knew these men needed more. We had finished the horse session, and they were talking, they were engaged, they were present, they were really stepping back into their personal power and loving life again. So then we went to Maple Leaf Dairy in Hebron, Connecticut, and the farmer there is in his 70s. He's jumping over 6-foot-tall fences. He's so flexible, agile, and loving life, high on life, right? And these men were so curious. They were asking him, how did you live so long? What did you do for work? Hi, Ryan. They were so enthralled with his health, his flexibility, and his longevity. And this farmer took us to see the baby kindergarten cows, the middle-aged cows, and I totally believe the universe lined this one up for our group. So these men in substance abuse recovery, I just spontaneously planned this event. This was a few years ago. Drove them in the 16-person white van, driving these angry men, coming out of their shell, learning to be confident, to animal therapy at this dairy farm. And it just so happened that while we were there, hi Ryan, one of the cows gave birth to a baby calf. And again, one of the men began crying because it allowed him to be in touch with his soul, with his spirit, right? Because this is why we're here, to live life to the fullest, to feel acceptance, to feel love, and to gain coping skills beyond just talk counseling. Because talking doesn't work for everyone, especially if there's shields upon shields of anger. So there's a little fun story about how I started my practice and what fueled me to open Wisdom Within Counseling here in Niantic, where we help anxious children, depressed teens, and distant young adults using creative, holistic art, yoga, music, and outdoor walk and talk sessions by the Niantic Bay Boardwalk and the beach shoreline. To read more about what we do, or if you know anyone who has a child or teen who's struggling with anxiety, looking for out-of-the-box support, send them over to wisdomwithinct.com. Or if you're looking forward to getting your phone consultation scheduled, call or text 860-451-9364. We are an LGBTQ-friendly practice. We advocate for transgender children and youth, and we can't wait to help your whole family communicate and work better together. Have a great day.